What's up, squad? This is Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thank you so much for joining me today. Trump is the gift. President Trump is the gift that keeps on giving. As far as bringing you guys news in this world, because he's pretty much at the center of the world right now, because he's making such dynamic changes to the status quo. In his most recent Perry, he's pretty much reversing 80 years of probably American foreign policy, right? Foreign policy built on strong integration with Western Europe. I don't want to say antagonistic, but oppositional relationship to Russia, seeing Russia as a competitor and Europe as a prize, and a lean away from liberal or democratic values. I say this because and I said this before, he has this thing where he likes to punish or berate or talk down to allies, Canada, America, Mexico. He had no problems during the massive tariffs. He calls the Prime Minister of Canada, Governor Trudeau. Um, Basically, he wants NATO to increase their spending. No problem with that. But he talks about, in favorable terms, a conversation with Putin. As he said, the war will be over day one. Well, based on the terms of what he has said, it's almost seemed like it's going to be a complete capitulation. Which, in all honesty, you got to feel for the Ukrainian people, because they were really set up, and you have to say for what ends. These were people that really were fighting for their identity and their independence to get away from Russia. And this isn't uncommon. If it was, it wouldn't be so many former Soviet Union states within NATO. Obviously, there's a big portion of Ukraine that rejects Russian identity or being under Russia or dominated by Russia, and they were really fighting for their independence. And Trump pretty much said, "Okay, gigs up, game's over, get for peace." No Ukraine at this point. The negotiation hasn't started, but he's already had favorable talks with Putin, and he's talking about he doesn't see Ukraine joining NATO. He doesn't see Ukraine keeping its 2014 borders, etc., etc., etc. So Ukraine is being thrown under the bus for all intents and purposes. And you really gotta wonder how long some things start to, because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? And this is going to really slowly but surely start to make the world behave differently, right? You might see it's going to be some unintended consequences, I think, as the world evolves. Couple things I'm looking out for. Who's going to be the first American ally or probably a European country that stands up and say America can't be relied on? Why are we listening to them? How long before Europe start electing their authoritarian leaders? Because what Russia, reason why we have this foreign policy that has been this way, or America has this foreign policy for the last 80 years, is because up to World War I, America was solely focused on strengthening itself, right? And in doing so, it became a very strong and powerful country. And World War I brought America into this conflict of Europe. And America after World War I was like, okay, it's done. Let's go back to our quarters. And America tried to go back to its quarters, but it was only given a few years, a little over a decade, and then bam, the seeds of World War II had already started to be planted, and the world was once again in conflict. So, in the second one, due to the egregious nature of it, World War I was almost child play. By the end of World War II, we had nuclear weapons, atomic weapons. So, by the end of World War II, America was like, "Look, we gotta take leadership." And the reason why America was able to take leadership was because it was so strong. Um, and that's really what it took. Europe had all these wars because there was really no country in Europe that could really come in and put the kids down. And America was that country. And there's only really two countries that could have done it up to that point. America and Russia. And don't forget, Russia had been pretty much out the game since the fall of Imperial Russia and the rise of the communists and the takeover of the Bolsheviks. But by the end of World War II, with American support and war material, Stalin had built up a war machine, and the Soviet Union were beasts. Outside, they were very limited because of their poor economy, but they were very, very strong. And America said, "Okay, you keep your side, your second world, we keep our side, the first world." And this has allowed, in doing this, America has grown. Not only has America grown, but American allies have grown and technology, economic development, etc. You can compare the GDP per capita, the output per capita of Western Europe to those former Soviet states. And you can see the disparity of what happens. You can see how countries grow where they adopt liberal market economics. So we've been operating this way. And what Trump is about to do is he's about to go take us to pre-World War One leadership. America's strong. Let's add some more states. Let's take in Greenland. Like Europe, you need to sort yourself out. Canada, we're not. Who say you're an ally? You know, you look kind of vulnerable over there without a defense force. You like if you. He's like, because Canada not paying their NATO fees, and they do rely on America to take care of them. But what I'm saying is, because America subsidized so many people, they haven't had to be full on cycle. When America start to pull back, then they're going to say we have to fend for ourselves. The aggression is going to uptick because they're going to be like, before we had a problem, we knew America would be there to support us. Now you pull back, and America not going to be there to support us, and then now they're going to be aggressive. And when America want to come back and have some influence or try to bring people to the negotiating table, they're going to say, well, what we need you for? We have our own military. We develop our own infrastructure. This is what happened. This is what self-reliance produced. It's going to create these mini bosses, and that are going to turn into warlords, because eventually they're going to want to expand their power because they're going to feel limited and they're going to feel vulnerable. And this is what authoritarian countries or aspiring countries do. Another thing, I haven't heard from Erdogan. If it's one person, President Erdogan out of Turkey, one person I'm really interested to see how he's reacting to what he's doing. I don't think anybody came up, no country, I don't think any country came up like Turkey did during the Biden regime. We talk about the relationships they built with exporting weapons within Africa, proposition themselves as pretty much a go-between for energy resources. As you saw, Russia, plenty of videos we made. As you saw Russia decline, Turkey's getting stronger and stronger. You saw what they did with Nagorno-Karabakh, with Azerbaijan to Armenia. When Russia was on its way out, Trump is really throwing them a lifeline right now. And they're on the verge of getting kicked. They were already kicked out of Syria. Bashar al-Assad had fell in Syria. Turkey's picking up left and right. It's a lot of countries in Africa kicking out the French. Turkey's finding all types of opportunities for alliances. Don't forget the Libyan government is alive and well right now because Turkey stepped in on their behalf and defended Tripoli. So it was so many areas where Turkey has stepped up and really taken over a pivotal role, and they strength, and a lot of that is on the fall of Russia. So with Russia coming back in the fold, I think that's going to create another level of conflict. So I know President Erdogan is probably not happy with the Trump presidency right now, but I'm really looking at how the other leaders of the world will start to react, especially if Trump starts to draw back from the world, start draw back and have this. It's like he said, like a America first policy. As everybody sees, okay, it's America first, so what number are we? And they're going to start making decisions accordingly. But it's absolutely crazy the speed at which Trump is doing it. I think that's a testament to his ability. But the speed that he's doing it is without hesitation, that he's reversing American foreign policy. And to me, don't get me wrong, I think that the interests are the same. I think America they want to give Israel Gaza. Some people, or they wanted to put Israel in a very strong position over Gaza. A lot of people thought it would be done through negotiation. Trump's like, let's just move them out. Let's just move out the Palestinians from Gaza. I think they wanted to bring the Russians into the Western fold. They want Russians on the side, but they figured, hey, Putin's too strong. He got too much influence. We want Russia to come in line. We got to get rid of Putin and put a more friendly government, just like they did with Ukraine. We put a more friendly government into Russia, and it was pressure. They were trying to apply pressure. That's what all these sanctions is for. This is what the Ukraine war is for. This is trying to exercise influence in Georgia. This is what it's all about. They were trying to bring pressure on Russia to force regime change. Trump still wants Russia in the fold, but he's like, hey, let's be friends with them. You know, gives more bees with honey than vinegar. And he's like, hey, let's come talk to the table. He's talking about negotiating a truce between Russia and Ukraine without Ukraine. It shows you what to think about Ukraine's role in this. He's already come out talking about he wants trilateral de-weaponization, where he wants to talk to China and Russia on lowering their defense spending so they can focus more on the economy. He's basically reviving and elling Russia, by the way. He's bringing, like I say, he's bringing life into these guys. I really think Russia was on the rope. At least Putin's regime was on the ropes. So it really is doing a change of course. It's not so much that I think the interests have changed, but he's taking a different methodology to get the desired results. So those are my initial thoughts. So we'll see how this continues to lay out. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead, comment below. What do you think about Trump, his new take on foreign policy, and some of the bold decisions that he's making at the moment? You agree or disagree? Love to hear your comment below. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Until next time, take care. Bantu up.